everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bilikis. How you all doing? Welcome back to a new tutorial which will be on how to make this beautiful dress we have here. We have one side being the normal dress and the other side in form of BUBU. And trust me, it is very easy to make. If today is your first time of checking out this channel, you're welcome. Please make sure you subscribe. And check out my other channel, Pattern Drafting with Bilikis and Bilikis Signatures. You can follow me on Instagram, Bilikis Signatures, and on Facebook, Sewing Innovations. If you're interested in our monthly online classes and sewing tools, just use the number in the contact number below. Now back to work. Here you can see what the dress looks like. You can decide to have a short sleeve or a long sleeve, even extend the dress to be a long dress depending on your preference. So what are the measurements needed? You need your shoulder measurements, the center back to the sleeve opening. What do I mean by that? This is your center back, that is the bone here. So you just take the measurement from here to your wrist. So whatever you have is the measurement required there. Then you need your bust circumference, your waist circumference, hip circumference, and also the vertical waist measurement that is along your body. So yeah, then your vertical hip measurement, then half of the armhole measurement. Now to determine the amount of fabric that will be needed for this dress is easy. And how do you go about that? When you're making a normal dress like this, you draft using the largest circumference, which is the hip. So here the hip measurement is 40 inches. You're going to have it on 4. That means you divide whatever measurement you have there by 4. So 40 divided by 4 will be 10 inches. Yes, plus seam allowance, that will make it 11. So that means the amount of fabric you fold for this side should be 11 inches plus seam allowance. That's 10 plus 1 inches. Having noted that for this part, then coming to the other side, this is a BUBU style. All you have to do is to take the measurement of the center back to the sleeve opening. Like for myself, it is 31. For this person, it is 28. So you just add 1 inch seam allowance to that to make it 29. But I'm still going to maintain this 28 because I want it to be a little bit before our wrist. So that is 28. I still maintain that here I have 11 inches plus 28 inches. Now we are calculating how to determine the amount of fabric needed. So here you have 39 inches. Good. That will be only for one panel because we will have both the front and the back, which we will cut together. So this is just for one panel. That means you have to multiply this 39 by 2 to have for the back or for the front. So when you multiply that, you should be having 78 inches. So this is the amount of fabric you'll be needing for this medium-sized person. For a plus-size person, you might need more than that, yes. So it depends on your measurement. So for the one I'm working with, we need 78 inches for that. So that is a little above 2 yards of fabric. 2 yards is about 72 inches. So you have extra 6 inches. Then don't forget the sleeve, whether you want a short or a long sleeve. That totally depends. So for this medium-sized person, 2.5 yards is just enough. And for a plus-size person, 3 yards is fine. So you can make use of satin, crepe, chiffon, depending on your choice of fabric. So right now, let us go over to the work table. This is the fabric I'm working with. Remember I told you I need 78 inches for this very dress we are making. So what I did is to cut about 79, 80 inches, yeah, because I can just trim up the excess. So after measuring that 78 inches, all I did was to fold into 2. Yes, because we need 39 for the front, 39 for the back. So after folding it into 2, this is what I have. So when I open this up, I'll be having the old 78, but I folded it into 2 to have this very part. Then remember when we were talking about this side, we said we are going to use 11 inches, 10 inches for the actual hip measurement and 1 inch for seam allowance. So all I did was to fold just that 11 inches. So here I folded about 11.5. So I'll be trimming off that 1/2 inch. So I folded that. So now from the other side, I have 28 inches. So remember, after folding the 78 inches, I'm going to have 39 inches. So then I folded 11 inches, then I'll be left with 28 inches for the BUBU side. So first we need to work on this other side. Now let us work on the dress side, which is this smaller portion we folded. The first thing you are going to do is this. Let's quickly go over the measurement. For the vertical measurement, half of the armhole, this is the starting line, is 7.5, then 16, then 22, then 35 is the length of the dress, so I added 1 inch seam allowance to make it 36. So the first thing we are going to do is the 3 inches, 8 inches standard. From that point, I'll come down by 1 inch. Connect from the 3 inches past the line. Good. Now we need the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement we are working with here is 15 inches. Half of that is 7.5. So that's 48 inches. Then you come to the armhole line, measure 7.5. The armhole line is formed. The next thing is to insert the horizontal measurements. First, the bust is 38 inches. When I divide that by 4, I'm going to have 9.5. Plus 1 inch seam allowance, that will make it 10.5. Then you come to the waist. The waist is 32 inches. When you divide that by 4, you are going to have 8 inches. So you could make it free, but I think you should use your exact waist measurement because the other side is a BUBU style, so it's going to be free. So 8 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance, that will make it 9 inches. Now going to the hip. The hip is 40. When you divide that by 4, you have 10 plus 1 inch seam allowance, that makes it 11 inches. Coming to the end of the dress, let's quickly work on that. All you have to do is this. Since here we have 11 inches, just come to the end and just remove about 1 inch to 1.5 just to make it a little bit tapered. So 11 inches, so you can either make it 10 inches or 9.5. You see that? So let's form the armhole before we cut it out. For the armhole, just get the midpoint here. For the front armhole, you come in by 3/4 inch. And this is the back. And you see what we have. So we're just going to cut that off. But before then, let us just quickly work on the neckline you want to have. So the neckline you have depends on your preference. You could have a very close neck and have a slit at the back. Just cut through at the back and use a bias strip to tape it in, then put a button, or you can make it wide. That it totally depends on your preference. So let's just say we want a close neck, so you could just maintain that exact 3 inches or just make it 3.5. 3.5. Then the depth will just maintain 3 inches. Then for the back, we can just make it 1 inch or 1.5. So this is for the front and the back. Sorry, we'll start from here. Yeah, but if you want to maintain 3 inches, you maintain this. So we form the front neckline and the back neckline. So let us just quickly add the seam allowance of 1/2 inch at the shoulder region. So this shoulder slope now, because of the seam allowance we've added, has to be extended to the other side. You just have to extend it outward because we will need that for the BUBU side. So first, let me just cut out. But please, only this very one will you be cutting out. Then the back armhole and the back neck only. So I'm cutting the back. This back now I'm cutting it together because it is both for the front and the back. So can you see that? So let's just cut the. Good. Can you see we only cut out the back neck and the back armhole? So just extend the shoulder line. This is the shoulder slope line, but we've added 1/2 inch seam allowance, so you can still see it is intact. So I'm just going to extend it straight down. Can you see to the end? That's good. We'll be trimming this off, and that will be for the BUBU side. This is where the extension of the shoulder slope stops, as you can see it here. So all we have to do now before connecting it to the end is to insert the sleeve opening here. You can see this part. So all you have to do is measure your wrist measurement. So make sure it is loose. So for her, I'm just going to make it 10. So 10 divided by 2, that's going to be 5. And don't remember, we need seam allowance to sew this part and also to join the lower part. So that should be 6. It's actually 5, so we'll make it 6. So this is the point. You see, so this is the sleeve opening of 6 inches. Then we can now connect from this point straight to the end. So it is time to connect from this end of the sleeve opening to the lower part. All you have to do is this. Whatever you'll be sewing in here, just measure it. So you could just measure between 3/4 inch here, because that will be the seam allowance to fold the sleeve. Then you come to the hand here, then you measure about 8 inches depending on your size. So measure about between 7 to 8 inches from the edge inward. This is to have it trimmed down, because when you look at the diagram, you can see how it went. You don't want it straight, so you want it slanted by the side. So between 7 and 8 inches is fine. And from there, you just connect it straight. Can you see from that point here? So this is what we have there. So now we can trim off the shoulder slope. shoulder seam allowance. So everything is perfectly cut out. So now let me show you the core picture. It looks like from the upper part, this is still folded straight down. So when I open it up, this is what I'm going to have. So can you see? This is the BUBU side and this is the normal dress side. Can you see? Can you see? So that's how beautiful it is. So now let us finish the neckline for the front and the armhole. Do is to remove one part. So the one that is not marked will be for the back. So let's set that aside, and now this will be for the front. So all I have to do is to fold it back. And you see, then cut the neckline together. And the armhole will only be for this side. That is it. Now this is the front neckline. Clear picture. I have both the front and the back placed on each other, so you can see the armhole for the front, the neckline for the front and the back. So if it is a closed neck, all you have to do is to measure about 5 inches at the back and just slit. So that is it. Then you use a bias strip to finish that. That's easy. Now, how do you sew this up? The first thing you just have to do is that you just have to join the shoulders. So first you join the shoulder on the wrong side. This is the wrong side of the fabric. So first you have to join the shoulders, then you come here, we left the same 1/2 inch, and then you sew it down. So sorry, so can you see that? So by the time you join the shoulders, you have it this way. The next thing will be to join it by the side. We left 1 inseam allowance by the side, so you just have to join it all down. Then coming to this very side, because by the time you join it, you have something like this. Then you will now have to fold in this sleeve opening. So you fold it all around. And after folding it all around, then you have to sew 1 inch like we left on the other side, or you can just do 1/2 inch for this BUBU side, 1/2 inch, and then you sew it all down. And that is it. After doing that, you hem the neckline. If you want it sleeveless, all fine. If you want a hard sleeve, just hard sleeve to it. But if you want it sleeveless, I would advise you to take about 3/4 inch more from this armhole region. Yeah, it works perfectly if you want a sleeveless. So in that case, you might not need to the front or the back armhole. Yes, so you just connect it this way and trim this off if you want it sleeveless. But if you're adding sleeve, you do it the same way we have done it. And that is just it on this tutorial. If this tutorial has been helpful, please give me a giant thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I remain your girl, Bilikis. Bye guys.